But for the next 30 minutes or so, really pleased to be joined in the studio. She's limped in, Republican Overseas Representative Jennifer Ewing. She's been over in California, her native California. Did your leg in playing paddle tennis?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Well, I don't know. What is it? Is that?
There is. It's different. There's paddle, which is P-A-D-D-L-E. Then there's padel, which is P-A-D-E-L.
Is there a difference apart from the spelling?
Yes. There's a different ball. There's a different court. There's different rules. There's different all sorts of things. But pickleball is all the rage in California.
Okay. Well, I hope your leg gets better.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to London. Let's talk about your fabulous home country, though. Now, I want to talk first about Harry and Meghan, but more widely the Los Angeles fires and the political issues surrounding that inferno. That, I mean, for me personally, you know, I used to live there. I'm kind of heartbroken. It's like I've got a lot of affection for LA. It's like watching my hometown get destroyed. I mean, it literally has been consumed by this horrible inferno that continues to this moment. First off, on a very basic level, I'll tell you what I thought. I was disgusted by Harry and Meghan turning up in the ashes of Los Angeles for what looked to me like a photo op. They've been attacked for being, they've been described as grief grifters, as disaster tourists and tragedy vultures. Justine Bateman, the very famous actress, she described them as disaster tourists and said, what the hell are they doing there? They drove 200 miles to appear in the wreckage. There they were, walking through someone else's house, sifting through the wreckage and the remnants of a domestic home, you know, hugging the victims. Now, my point about this, Jennifer, is Los Angeles is a town full of far bigger names than them.
Yep.
Now, Tom Hanks could have gone down. I don't know, Steven Spielberg, you know, all of them, or the big names could have all gone down. But why didn't they? Because it would have been crass. It would have looked ridiculous. It would have looked as if they were trying to get publicity off the back of, you know, a tragedy, off the back of this cataclysm that's befallen Los Angeles, and yet there they were. They're now letting it be known through one of their favourite outlets, Page 6, the Page 6 gossip column in the New York Post, that they're very offended by what Justine Bateman said. Well, you two, if you don't want to be offended, don't do that. It was a bad look, wasn't it?
Look, okay, well, first of all, it's a free country still in the United States of America. Do whatever you like.
I'm not saying they can't do it.
Do whatever you like. However, you're right, it doesn't make sense, you know. It's not their neighborhood, it wasn't their backyard, but I think I have a theory on why they did it. There's one reason, and one reason only.
Are those the cameras?
I think it's because they're going to try to spin this, as a lot of people will try to, as this is a climate change issue. This is all about climate change. And if you recall, when people first started to turn against Harry and Meghan when they were over here, it was when they started getting really preachy about climate change. It's their favorite issue, and I think that's what they're going to try to draw attention to. Unfortunately,
it's not
for them,
climate change.
No. I
used to live there. We get these fires every year, and some of them were terrible, terrible, terrible. The difference between this fire and all the others was that this one, because of the vagaries of the wind, the Santa Ana winds, blew straight into the middle of the city. And usually they hang around in the outskirts, in the mountains, Malibu, that kind of thing. This one, straight into the middle, and it continues apace. So that, it's nothing to do with climate change.
No, but I think that is probably going to be their spin, right? But it's so egregious what happened, and whether you want to play the blame game or get political or not, there were warnings as early as the 1st of January. Hey, the fire's coming. It's not if, it's when. So people knew, and yet, you know, the mayor still decided to go to the Ghana, you know, the sort of
Ghana taxpayers' money, fact-finding trip. You know, taxpayers' money. Because the people of Los Angeles could really benefit from their mayor going to Africa on a fact-finding trip. That's really useful for Los Angeles.
And look,
while it's on fire.
Right. And look, we ask very, very little of our government, but one is to do basic services like police and fire.
Here,
so what they could have done, which is what, you know, tons of firemen and tons of policemen and first responders would have said would have been fine is, hey, there might be a big incident the first week in January. Let's get some people from firefighters from Colorado or from Oregon or from other places, just in case.
Yeah.
And they would have been okay.
And I don't know, maybe have some water in the fire hydrants.
Yeah,
instead of spending money painting them rainbow colours, which they did, they didn't have any water in them. There was one reservoir that's completely empty. Anyway, Mel Gibson, famous Hollywood star, he was on Fox News earlier today, and he had some advice for the governor, the U-Haul governor of California, who causes everyone to pack up and leave because he's so useless. Mel said, he was asked, what's your advice to Gavin Newsom? He said, spend less on hair gel. But my advice would be, yes, Gavin, spend less on hair gel, but also abandon all plans and ambition to be the President of the United States. You just blew it.
Well,
right?
And resigned from the governorship of California. He failed, you know. He's failed in fire safety. He's failed in homelessness. Let's not forget we have a massive, you know, missing money from the audit to help homelessness, and it's gone up 40% since he's been in charge. So he is not good with money. And forget running for President of the United States. He should not be in charge of the 5th largest economy in the world.
Absolutely. Let's have a quick look at old Mel Gibson on Fox News. It's very short, but it's funny.
Mel, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either, but there you go.
Karen Bass, by the way, you know, I'm not saying this in any pejorative way, but the 3 people in charge of the LAFD, the Los Angeles Fire Department, are all lesbians called Christina. They're on between $500,000 and $400 million, $500,000 and $400,000 a year each. Now, you know, I'm sure they're all very capable people, but we know why they're there. They're there because of wokery, aren't they?
Well, yeah, it's DEI.
You know, I don't want to decry them. Maybe they're brilliant at their jobs, but, you know, you can't help reflecting on why the 3 people running the LAFD, the Los Angeles Fire Department, are all lesbians, and one of them who gets about $290,000 a year. She's head of equality,
right?
And she said that the most important thing in the LAFD was diversity.
Yeah.
No. Let me explain to you what the most important thing in a fire department is. It's putting out fires. And you were ill-equipped to do so because Karen Bass, the mayor, took away $49 million of funding. So you've heard of defunding the police. Los Angeles defunded the fire department. So there are a lot of political questions there.
Well, she was another DEI win as well, because there was a pretty good Democrat that was running against her, but people said, no, you know, we've got to have the woman of color who's going to win.
Social worker.
She's a disaster. They should have gone with the other guy.
Did you see the footage? Sky News caught up with her. She just got back from Ghana at the airport, and they cornered her and said, anything you say to the people of Los Angeles. And they kept asking questions. She stood there like this.
Oh, yeah, you know, she froze.
She's the mayor.
She froze. She froze.
Well, she's been told by her PR people, don't say anything.
Of course.
Well, it was a terrible, terrible look. She looked like a sort of incompetent clerk, as you would say, as opposed to the woman running the great city of Los Angeles. That city is in incapable hands, to say the least.
Well, no, I was going to say, you just brought up Justine Bateman earlier, who is Jason Bateman's sister, you know, child actors, and she's become quite outspoken in the last few years. She's great, just common sense. She's not overly political. Of course, anybody with common sense is now considered far right. But what she said is people need to stop looking at their voting card and just picking the Democrats, right? Like, that's not how you choose a plumber.
Yeah,
it's not how you choose a mechanic. Just like, who's the best? And if you don't know, ask your friends, right? Or read some reviews, but just stop voting down ballot Democrat because you live in California.
Yeah, and Justine and Mel Gibson and others of that ilk have pointed out that the trouble with these woke Democrats in so many cities, but particularly California, is that they do not attend to the basics. You know, water in fire hydrants, water in reservoirs, preparation for this kind of disaster. It happens every year. They do not attend to the basics. They are incompetent. They're incompetent.
Kevin, do you know what they were doing? Well, this preparation should have been going on a few days ago. They had a special state assembly organizing on how to sue President-elect Trump for the, so he can't sort of get involved with illegal immigrants. That is what they were doing when they should have been looking after how to prepare for this disaster.
President Trump, when that happens, will go through that lot like a dose of salt. Let's go back to Harry and Meghan, which I think is interesting in their wokery. They have torn into Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Meta, Facebook, as it previously was, over Mark's decision to sort of go with the Trumpian flow and get rid of all the fact checkers, the social media fact checkers on his sites, Meta as it's now called, Facebook, Instagram and indeed WhatsApp. So he said, well, we'll get rid of those because frankly they're left-wing, they're biased and they censor free speech. This is Harry and Meghan's response. It's a statement issued yesterday. Bear with me. In an already confusing and, in many instances, intentionally disruptive information environment, God, the way that woman speaks.
Word salad.
This is the English language according to Meghan Markle. I'll start that again. See if you can keep up. It's a load of old psychobabble claptrap, but you'll get the point. In an already confusing and in many instances intentionally disruptive information environment, Meta has shown their words and commitments have very little meaning or integrity, as they announce these changes undoubtedly responding to political wins. They once again abandon public safety in favour of profit, chaos and control. The company's decision to roll back protections is so far away from its stated values and commitments to its users, including the parents and families calling for change around the globe, that it is now deeply deceptive. We urge Meta to reconsider and reinstate policies to protect all users. Who cares what you think? Who are you? You're just a couple of grifters up in Montecito. I mean, talk about entitled.
Well, I guess if I was to be generous, I would say I do agree that Mark Zuckerberg probably is blowing with the wind in this case, right?
Hey.
Like, he realizes where the power lies.
But the outcome is good.
Yes, the outcome is good. However, where were these two in 2020 when we now know that the two most censored events in modern American history were the 2020 U.S. election and COVID-19, right? Where Mark Zuckerberg, as well as Twitter, before it was owned by Elon, and many other publications, have pretty much admitted, yes, we were censoring information like the Hunter Biden laptop and everything.
The laptop,
why didn't that bother them then, right? Why did this only bother them when it suits their cause,
I think we
right?
know. You know, by the way, Meghan, you know, high and mighty, full of principles. She's so outraged by Meta, by Zuckerberg, that in order to promote her Netflix cooking show, she's gone back onto Instagram. Hey ho! The word hypocrite springs to mind. But you know, it is unbelievable, their sense of entitlement. Now, one last question I'd like to ask you about this is, do you think, see, Donald Trump, who, by the way, has praised Mark Zuckerberg to the hilt and happily accepted his $1 million donation to his inauguration celebrations.
He is a pragmatist, Donald Trump.
Sure.
Why not?
Now, he might not take kindly to this statement by the gruesome twosome from Montecito, and Harry's visa, his license to stay as a resident in America, could be at risk here.
I actually would be more fearful if Elon Musk takes notice of this, because Elon Musk is a little bit of Trump's attack dog these days. So Trump might have bigger fish to fry, especially over the next few days. But if somebody whispers in his ear like, hey, this is what these two are saying, yeah, it might grab some attention, and then who knows, it'll go down the road of Keir Starmer or, you know, some of the other people that
by the way,
Elon has been paying attention to in this country.
I agree, and I think, you know, if somebody alerted Elon to the fact, you'll get a lot of play if you have a go at Harry, kick Harry out, you know, then Elon will give that a go. By the way, this is a free country. We have freedom of speech. My view on Elon's intervention into British politics is, who are we to tell him not to do it? It's a freedom of speech. If he wants to get involved, actually, if he's wrong about certain facts, I think he has a tendency to go over the top. He does it deliberately. But if he's wrong, you have the right to be wrong, you know. It's all part and parcel of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. So all of you fascists who say, oh, we can't have a foreigner getting involved in our politics. No, we can. We have to. That's freedom, OK? That's my view on that.